Okay, let's see. Say it's live, so maybe it is, right? So let me see if we're going live now. And all right, okay. Yes, I can see that's live, at least on YouTube is live. That's good. That's good enough. All right. So let's get started then. So hi, hello. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are right now. You know, it's probably night for the Europeans, later than the Europeans, very late at night. For my friends in India, for example, or in Japan, right? Right. Yeah, pretty late at night in Japan. And but you know, start the afternoon here in Brazil. Early morning for the people in the U.S. So good night good whatever for everyone here. Excellent. Let's see. We're going live here today to talk. We're doing a live every day this week. I'm a little bit late today because I've been trying for the last 15 minutes to actually get this going live, and it finally did, I think. So if you can see me, if you can hear me, if the sound is good, please let me know in the comments. So we can start. You can start a conversation here. And basically, we're doing every day this week. We're talking here about the developer career, right? We're talking about your career. So we're gonna do Friday, right? We're gonna do a whole day event about the software developer career. So I'm gonna invite you to join us right now. jav.mn/dev career day. So join us. So Gladstone is saying, "Hey Gladstone, how you doing?" Right? Philippe is there. Okay, so looks like the sound is good. So let me post the message here. So the International Developer Career Day, right, will be this Friday. Right? We're gonna celebrate the developer career this Friday. So you can access, you can join in jav.mn/dev career day. All right, that's the URL right here on my board, but I'm also putting on the chat, right? So if you can see on the chat below, you're gonna see the International Dev Career Day. You can just kind of click there on that link, right? And that's gonna be cool. So Eduardo is saying, amazing, Eduardo, that's awesome. Okay, good, our Java boy. Well, Thais, I'm usually known as the Java man, right? And that's okay, because there's actually a Java boy, right? So his name is Pedro. He's known as the Java boy. He's a lot younger than I am, right? So, but that's good. So very good to see you here, Thais. Awesome. So every day we are talking here about questions, right? Questions that you may have asked when you register for the International Developer Career Day event. And so I'm kind of taking some questions here. And I got some people asking me about this. So Camilo, for example, said my biggest problem is my English, right? I want to improve day by day. So we have several people asking about the English or moving to another country. How much English do I need to have to move to another country? And let me tell you one thing here. A lot of people tell me that they don't have good English, right? Or they're still struggling with English. But they tell me that they don't have a good English, but they write to me in English. They watch my videos in English, right? They participate in things in English. And let me tell you this, if you read and write English, that's awesome, right? Because you have English. You are alphabetized in English. And so practicing talk and listening, that's the best thing you can do, right? So it's actually practice listening, right? So go watch Netflix in English with English subtitles, right? Because you already read the subtitles, so you can just now practice the ears. So that's the way for you to improve your English. Don't be so worried about don't be so worried about your English, right? Go practice, go try with other people, right? That's awesome. Sai says, for us, you are the boy, right? When now the Java start here, right? Yes. Okay. All right, cool. Thanks a lot, Thais. No problem. All right. So I think you should go and you should practice a lot English, right? It's really, really important. But that's not the question I want to answer here today, right? We had some other questions like more about the career. And uh 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 so let me see another one here. So there's a guy here, Andre says, I'm 47 years old, right? And I have a master degree in computer science, but I'm almost never working on it, right? Once I become a good iOS programming, for instance. Okay, right. So basically, yeah, he goes around a little bit. So let me kind of condensate the question here. So he's saying that he's 47 years old, but so he took a master degrees in computer science, but didn't work too much on it. Now he wants to become a good iOS programmer, right? And then how can I be viewed in the labor market? So there is this question for a lot of people: am I too old, right, to start programming, for example? Am I too old to get into the market? Or maybe some people are asking the other way around: am I too young, right? Do I have to practice for many years before I can actually be a developer, right? So the interesting thing about software development is that it's not age bound, right? I mean, you can start software development at any time you want and still be a good developer, because look, you need about 3 to 5 years to build the brain of a software developer, right? So before that, before you have 3 to 5 years, you're probably honing your skills, right? You're learning things, you're honing your skills, you're becoming better and better and better. And that moment, you can get a lot of cool projects, right? A lot of good things that you're going to do with in the early years, right? You can really advance your career a lot. But the cool thing that at that moment is that you're building your brain, so it's actually very fast, right? These skills, you get these skills fast. You learn new things fast. Every new project you participate, you become better and better and better, right? And so, but then after that, right, after the first few years, you have the brain, right? Your brain, you have the skills of a developer. Then this is the time that you go deep in your skills, right? Then you have to really go and practice, right? Practice the things that you want to improve on, right? Because I'm telling you one thing: you can practice all the time. Almost anything you do in life, but software development in particular, it's a very creative process, and you can improve your skills always. So it's not about learning. A lot of people tell me, but Bruno, there's so many things to learn. And there's a question someone in the chat yesterday saying, frameworks change so fast. Yeah, frameworks change fast. Technology change fast. New language show up, but your skills as a software developer, right? They become better. You don't change your skills, right? For example, let me get a simple example, right? Typing on the keyboard. It doesn't matter. It's a good skill for a software developer. It doesn't matter which language you're typing, right? It's still typing on the keyboard. Or solving problems. One of the most important skills that a software developer needs to have, it's solving problems, right? So it doesn't matter which language you're going to use. Your skills on solving problems are going to become better and better and better. And the same thing about things like testing and writing code and using IDE. All of those skills, right? They're transferable. Doesn't matter which technology, which framework, or even which language you use. All those skills are transferable, right? So this is what we say, that your brain needs to be ready, right? Because your brain, you need to build those skills. So that's going to happen in the first few years of your career. But after that, you can always be going deeper and deeper and deeper in your skills. So that's the awesome thing about skills, right? Skills, you never stop improving it, right? It doesn't matter how many years you have, you never stop improving. You can always improve your skills. So, but the question from, what's his name? The question from Andre. So the question from Andre is that, I'm 47 years old, right? Let's say it takes me 5 more years to do this, right? Like I'm saying here. Then what happens, right? Then am I too old to do this? No, you're not. Now, the interesting thing, Andre, is that what you've been doing, right? You said that you took a master's in computer science, but you never worked on it, right? So what have you been doing in the last 10, 15, 20 years of your life, right? I'm sure you're working on something. You may have worked on sales or marketing or, I don't know, maybe you're an engineer or whatever it is that you're working on, right? Even if you never work it for someone, let's say you're a stay-at-home parent, right? And so you think you never worked on anything, but you did. You did a lot of things in the last 20 years. So now what you have to do, Andre, is think, okay, so with my experience that I had from the last 20 years, what is my biggest experience that I have? And how can I use that experience into software development? Because that is the biggest thing, right? When you change a career, when you go deep, you're going to try something new. You have to bring everything you had with you in the past, bring with you, right? So let's say that that you are an engineer, right? You're working on engineer before, or maybe you're working sales, right? Then if you move into software development now, what is it you need to do, Andre? You need to get all your experience with sales and put that into software, right? You could do this, for example, by working on a software that is a software for salespeople, right? So you go look for an open source project, for example, and you go look on an ERP or any kind of software that there's all kinds of cool, a CRM, a customer relationship management, for example. There's all kinds of cool software targets for salespeople, right? So if you start developing a software that has everything to do with your skills that you had before, then you're not simply starting as a software developer. You are a software developer that understands all the sales process. So that's a huge value for whoever needs that, right? But then you say, no, Bruno, but I've been a stay-at-home parent, right, for all this time. So I'd never worked on anything. It's awesome, right? Because you have all this experience, right, of dealing with problems at home, right? There's all kinds of amazing, sophisticated problems at home, and there's thousands, millions of people around the world that needs to do those things better, right? So you can work on projects that are related that help people from home to be better, to work better, to be more productive, to take care of the kids. It doesn't matter, right? So I'm just saying that it doesn't matter what experience you had before doing software development, Andre. But when you start doing software development, it's not about I just want to go in and start from scratch. No, it's never start from scratch. All the skills you had before are awesome, and you can use this going forward, right? So that's worth for everyone, right? It's not because you're old, Andre. Everyone here that has any kind of prior experience, use that to advance your career, right? So let me say hello. So Harry says hello. Tatiana says, I'm doing this right now, including in Spanish. Awesome, Tatiana. That's the best way for you to learn language, is actually listening, right, to the language. And if you're good at reading it and you don't know how to listen, go do videos with subtitles in the language so you can match both things, right? The same language. Don't watch the video in Portuguese. The video in English with Portuguese subtitles, because then your brain gets confused and your brain chews, right? The brain's just going to read the subtitles and not going to pay attention to the English of the audio, right? So same language in both cases. That's the best way for you to improve your ear for language, right? Zilur says hello from Bangladesh. That's awesome, Zilur. I have a very, very good friend, Bazlur Haman. So Bazlur, if you're watching this, Bazlur, when I met Bazlur, he was in Bangladesh like you, Zilur. But Bazlur, he now lives in Canada, right? That's a dream that he had. His wife moved to Canada sometime last year. So that's awesome, man. So I'm going to go on to more questions here from the registrations in the event, right? You can come here and register for the event. But if you that's watching here live, I want to talk to you, right? I want to talk to you and I want to help your questions, whatever it is that you're going on right now in your career. So if you, so tell me right now, what is the biggest challenge you're facing in your career right now, today? Oh, by the way, talking about today, there's two cool things that happen on today, right? Well, three. First one, this live stream here is happening, right? So that's pretty cool, isn't it? Okay, so no, I'm just joking. So today is the 8th 8th anniversary has been 8 years since the Curiosity rover landed on Mars and it starts exploring Mars. So the Curiosity rover is 8 years old in Mars, right? That's pretty awesome. It's an awesome feat of technology, awesome feat of engineering. And the Curiosity rover had lots of things Java related, right? They had they had the console where you could control the rover, was done in Java. There's all kinds of Java basic technologies with that project. And so that's pretty cool, awesome, right? That we have 8 years that Curiosity is in Mars. Now, even more interesting than that is that today we're going to have a conversation with James Gosling, the father of Java, the creator of the Java technology. So if you want to do this, you search online, go in my Twitter, for example. I just posted a thing about this earlier today. And so you're going to see the link there for you to join. Actually, maybe I could find the link quickly here for you, but you can, or someone that's watching here could find the link and post there, and I can repost it. But we're going to talk with James Gosling. We're going to have a conversation with him about how he's been doing and how was his career and everything like this. And one of the things we're going to ask him is how much he participated on the Mars rover project, on the Curiosity project. So to see if he knows anything about it, right? So that's pretty awesome. Now, I don't see any questions on the chat, so let me go back here to tell me here, what is the biggest challenge you're facing right now in terms of your software developer career, right? And so let me see here, Ariadne. So Ariadne says the following: I'm a front-end developer with the design degree, so I feel like I don't have the computational background to advance as a good programmer should be. I struggle with logic programming, for example, right? So that's Ariadne is talking about this. So, Ariadne, let me tell you this. It's not a problem. I mean, depends what you want to do, right? You can be a great developer even though you're not very, you don't create new algorithms, right? So that's not a problem. Your skills of being both a developer and a designer might be awesome for you to create user interface, for example, or even for you to create things for designers. That's even better, right? So there's a lot of things that you can do, Ariadne, even though you don't, you might think that you don't have the good skills as a developer. Now, the one interesting thing that you can do is that you can improve those skills. The best thing you can do is going after and say, okay, so I'm weak. That's for any skill that you have, right? Anyone that you think of a skill, you're not so sure about, if you're good or not in that skill or something like this, but you think I think it's an important skill, right? So you can go and you can create. You can either find online or you can create for yourself exercises that will help you improve that particular skill. So it's very important. Skills are all about doing. Okay, so skills are not about learning. A lot of people want to learn, right? Learn. Okay, I even wrote an article saying, right, learning everything is going to destroy your career, right? Because that's true. So learn. That's not the objective. The object is always to do things, right? Because only when you do things, that's when you improve your skills. And the only thing that matters, it's not your knowledge. Knowledge is not that important. What really matters is the skills that you have. And only when you do things, Ariadne, that's when you actually acquire skills, right? So if you're feeling that you're weak in any kind of skills, right? So you say, I don't write code very fast, for example, or maybe I'm not very good at debugging software, or maybe I can't really understand when other people tell me about architecture. Whatever skill that you think that is, whatever skill that you think that you are weak, right? Please Go do some exercise. Go do things. Go do exercises to improve that skill that you think is missing, right? Because I agree. Look, when we feel weak on some areas, we might think, we might feel not very good. We might feel bad. We can't really keep up with the project, right? Because other people are better than we are. So that's why you need to go and do things, Ariadne, because the more you do, the better you get. So go do small projects for you, right? So go do small projects to solve logic problems using code. And so you become better and better and better with logic programming, okay? So Zihur asks this. Hello, Gabriel, good to see you here. So Zihur asks, I'm a web developer, right, with PHP, Laravel. Give me any suggestions. Any suggestion in what, Zilhur? Right? I can give you lots of suggestions, right? But I don't know what you want. What is your biggest challenge that you're facing right now? Do you want to get a new job? Do you want to, move to another country? Do you want to write a book? Do you want, be the best developer in Bangladesh, for example, right? Whatever that you want, right? So Zilhur, my biggest advice for you is think about what is it you really, really want to do, right? And the more you know what you want to do, the more you can make a plan to get where you want, right? So you think about what is it you want to do, and then you make a plan, right, to get what you want. And by the way, anything that you're gonna plan, it's all about the skills. Go focus on the skills. So go do things, right? So Alvaro's watching from Ubatuba, so that's awesome, man. Ubatuba is a beach near here, São Paulo, right? That's pretty cool. So Zilhur, go do things, right? Go do. You have web developers using PHP, so go do project in PHP, right? The more projects you do, the better. Okay, that's the best advice I can give you. Like, it's a generic advice, Zilhur, because you gave me a generic problem, right? So, Caroline says, Bruno, for a junior developer, how to learn to build a concise, well-structured project from scratch in Java, for example. So, Caroline, there's a lot of people that ask me, how do I do great projects from scratch? And let me tell you one thing, Caroline. This is a very, very hard, not very hard, very rare situation, right? It's very, very rare. So, first of all, most people don't build a concise, well-structured project from scratch, right? Because normally when you start your project, you're doing, I don't know, I'm playing around, right? I'm doing something. And I'm not really planning about the whole project, right? And so when you start, you don't start with a concise and well-structured project, right? You start from anything. You start by solving a problem, a small problem. You start by doing small steps. And then when the project starts to take shape, that's when you start structuring it, right? So don't worry too much about starting structured, because you're probably just going to overthink. You have, how to start a good project, Caroline. You start from a problem, right? That's the way. Oops, let me get, because I want to keep the URL here. So I'm just going to use the small space here. So, you start, Caroline, from a problem, right? So it's not about structuring the project. It's about thinking, what problem do you want to solve, right? Really important that you have to think. So you start from the problem and you start saying, okay, so what solutions can I give to this problem? And then you start experiment, right? You do something small here, and then you expand a little bit, and then you think, okay, now I understand the problem better. So you scratch all of these and you start all over, for example. So don't worry too much about starting a project, because if you think too much about starting a project the right way, Caroline, you're never going to start, right? So you got to start. That's the most important thing, Caroline. You got to start. Now, let me tell you one thing, Caroline. This skill of starting a project from scratch, it's very good for you, for your own projects. But the truth is, most projects that you participate on in your life, Caroline, you're going to start not from scratch. You're going to start from someone else's code, right? You're going to get a project that already exists, right? It's either it's an open source project, or it is a project from your company you're working on. It's a legacy code. Maybe it's a project in another language that you have to port to a new language, for example. So all of those projects are going to start from someone else's code, right? Maybe there's not even a lot of code, but there's a database, right? So you have to follow the database, for example. So a good skill, Carlini, for a junior developer is not how do I start project from start. It's good for everyone, this one. I understand. But even better skill, let's say like this, is how do I join an existing project, right? How do I join from a project that already exists? So how do I quickly read code that already exists and I quickly understand what's going on so I can participate in a project? So the best way to do this, Carlini, is actually go read open source code, right? Go read code that other people wrote. Go on GitHub, find interesting project that you like, that you're interested in, and learn how the project, if I need to change that project, where would I start? This is the best thing that you can do for a junior developer, Carlini. It's not about starting project from scratch. It's about getting existing project, understand the project that other people wrote. Because a lot of people think that, oh, I'm a junior developer. The most important thing for me is to write my own code. But if I'm a junior developer, I don't know what is a good code, what is a bad code. So if all I do is write my own code, then I'm never going to learn, right? So it's like a musician that says, oh, I'm a starting musician, but I don't want to listen to anyone else's song. I'm just going to create my own songs. And then you're like, oh, man, this is kind of crazy, right? You first need to know what exists. And you need to know different genres, things like this, so you can create your own music, right? So that's the same thing for developers. So go read code from other people, Carlini. That's going to teach you more about software development than almost anything else, right? So, but now, if you just read code, that's not enough. You have to read code and try to change it, right? Okay, so I have this web application. Let's say, our friend Zihur said he's a web developer, right? So, you can get like a web application and you go read the code, see how it works, understand how it works. And then, okay, so now what if I want to change this, right? What if I want to change this number here on the screen? Where should I change that? Is this in the database? Is this on the interface? Where does information comes from? Doing this, Carlene, is going to give you a huge understanding of architecture, a huge understanding of code, and a much, much better path forward than just trying to create your own projects. So Udimberto says, I have this approach, Bruno, and it really works. Every topic that I don't have knowledge, I make a proof of concept with the maximum scenarios that I can achieve based on features needs, right? Yeah, so you create small. I don't think you need to do with the maximum scenarios, right? Just create a small thing that solves one problem, and then you expand from there, right? Because if you create all these big scenarios with lots of different things, then you're like, oh man, this is going to take forever. I'm never going to finish this. So then you stop doing it, right? So what we want, Umberto, is that you got a small project you can work on, and you can solve that problem, right? And you can get someone using your software, solving their problem, and that's going to give you the whole process of the software development. That's a very, very cool. So Gabrielle says, how can I get a remote job from abroad in a simple way, right? Okay, Gabrielle. So that question has a lot of different answers, right? So I'm going to try to do the simple one here. But if I can give you a good advice, Gabrielle, is join the events that we're going to do Friday, right? The international Friday. Look, this is awesome. Hey, Paulo, that's awesome to see you here, man. So, Gabrielle, on Friday, we're going to launch the very, very first International Day of the Developer Career. So we're going to launch that day every first Friday of August. Actually, the second Friday of August, right? Every second Friday of August, we will, because that's when Father's Day is, right? So Father's Day is Sunday, on the Friday before Father's Day in Brazil, because it's not the same one everywhere. So the Friday before Father's Day, it is the same day of the International Day of Beer. On that day, we always going to discuss the software developer career. It's going to be the International Software Developer Career Day. So I'm going to invite all of you to be part of this, to be part of the very, very first International Developer Career Day, right? So I want you to join us. So come here to jav.mn/dev career day, right? So it's right here on my screen too, right? So you can do this. jav.mn javman, right? That's me, javman, right? Not Java man, no, javman slash dev career day. So join me on Friday. There's going to be, we have awesome speakers. You know, we have like 10 Java champions, 15 or 20 community leaders. We're going to have a lot of cool people there at the event just for you to help you grow your career, right? So yeah, go there, Gabriel. Excellent. So now that you're there, remember that, hey, Mike, good to see you. Mike's a good friend. All right, so if you're Brazilian, this guy that just said hello, Mike, you should put your link here. So if you're Brazilian and you speak Portuguese, Mike has created a awesome test to see if your project is on the right track, right? It's called Líder Técnico. Okay, técnico.com.br, right? So I would suggest you to go to the link that Mike created, lídertecnico.com.br, right? And that's an awesome test to see if your project is on the right direction, right? So the Mike is a good friend. Good to see you here, Mike. Excellent. So I saw Izaki saying hello, hi. So now let me go back here to Gabriel's. Actually, if anyone clicks on that link, let's see if I type it correctly, right? You can put so lídertecnico.com.br. That's for the Brazilians because the site is in Portuguese. Mike, you need to redo that test in English if you can. All right, if you have some time. Now, let me talk about Gabriel, right? So Gabriel asks, how can I get a remote job from abroad in a simple way, right? So Gabriel, it's never simple. I want you to understand this, Gabriel. It's never simple to move to another country, right? So if you want to move to another country, it's a big change, a big shift, right? You go out of your country, you go to another country, you maybe not be citizen in that country for quite some time before you get any kind of improvement. You have things like visas and bring your family with you and travel and all those kind of things. So it's never easy, simple. It's never simple to move abroad to another country. But getting a job, maybe it's a remote job that you work for a company outside of your country and you still live in your country. That is actually an awesome way to do things, right? And so here is my biggest trick or my biggest suggestion on how you get the best jobs ever. Actually, let me tell you this. I wrote a book called The Best Developer Job Ever. I wrote that book. And if you join the events on Friday, if you go there, you participate in the event on Friday, you're going to get that book for free on Friday, right? If you go there on Friday, you're going to get that book for free. The Best Developer Job Ever. If you don't want to go to the event, right, that's okay. You can always go to Amazon and buy the book if you want to, right? It's available there. But if you want to get the book for free, join the event. This event here, the International Developer Career Day. It's right here on the screen. And then you can get, yeah, Gabriel, I know. I understand. I just answered part of your question. I'm going to answer the second part. No, don't worry. So come to the event, the Developer Career Day, and you're going to get this book called The Best Developer Job Ever, right? Because that's what you want, right? You want to get the best job ever. And that's what Gabriel wants, right? He wants to work in Brazil, paid in dollars, right, to some company in the US. So that's the best developer ever, the best job ever, right? Because I'm going to be here working from home, right? And I'm going to be paid lots of money. So that's the best job ever. So every time, Gabriel, you want the best job ever or the best developer job ever, you can read my book, but you need one word. You said in a simple way, right? It's one word. And the word is trust. That's what you need, Gabriel. You need trust. You need people trusting you, right? That's really important. That's very, very important. You need people trusting you, Gabriel, right? And now the thing is, pay attention to this, Gabriel, if people trust you before they need you, They will call you when they need you instead of calling someone else. You got that? If people trust you before they need you, when they need you, they'll call you and not someone else. So that is the way to get the most amazing jobs ever, is to create trust, right? To create trust. I wrote a book with 5 steps to create trust, right? But 5 steps to create trust. So you can get the book for free at the event on Friday. But the awesome thing is, today with the internet, you can create international trust. So right now, I'm here doing this live here, and I have people from Brazil, I have people from Bangladesh, I have people from the US, I have people from all over the place. That is, and I'm helping you, right, Gabriel? I'm helping you. And when I help someone, that someone starts trusting me because Bruno gave me a good suggestion. I tried and it worked. Oh man, so Bruno is right. So I trust him, right? Next time I'm going to hear what he tells me because he's a trustworthy person, right? So that's what I'm saying to you, Gabriel. You need to create this trust. And the internet allows you to create trust internationally, right? So that's what you want, Rafael. Sorry, Gabriel. That's what you want, Gabriel. In a simple way, build trust, right? Build trust, not a general trust, but a trust that you, Gabriel, you can solve a big problem. Because trust is not for everything, right? You don't trust me to tell you which car to buy next year, right? Because I'm terrible at cars, right? No, you can't trust me on lots of things because I'm not knowledgeable, right? But if you know, if you are trustworthy, you're known as the person that solves a big problem. It's not about which technology you know, Gabriel. It's not about at which tool you use. It's all about which problem you solve. So once everyone trusts you, hey, Gabriel is the best guy to put, to create microservices using artificial intelligence in the cloud. So we need this. We need an artificial intelligence application that's built on microservices, and we need an expert on this. Who are we going to call? We're going to call not the Ghostbusters. We're going to call Gabriel Brito. He's the biggest specialist on microservice-based artificial intelligence applications in the cloud. So let me call him. And that's when you get the best jobs ever. Okay, Gabriel? All right, everyone. Unfortunately, today, actually, fortunately, right? The good thing about today is that today I'm going to have a live call with James Gosling, the creator of Java. It's going to be in a few hours from now. It's going to be 5 p.m. Brazil time. So right now, so it's going to be 3 hours, 2.5 hours from now, right? And I'm going to be with James Gosling. So because of that, I need to get some things ready here. So I'm going to cut short this live here today. But Knox has a last question here. After a year of professional experience as a software developer, I'm now planning to switch to software QA career. May I ask you for some advice on how I can achieve this? Yes, Knox. So bring everything with you. That's the best thing ever. Bring everything with you. So you want to go to QA. So what can you do right now as a software developer to get into QA? So can you write tests, right? Can you write can you automate tests in your code, for example? Can you develop a testing tool? Bruno, I can't develop a testing tool, right? I'm just have a year old as a developer. Doesn't matter, man. You can go and you can find out open source projects of testing tools and help those guys create their testing tools, right? So yeah, so go do QA right now, Knox. Not in the future, right now. Go QA your code. Go QA your projects. Go QA anything you want, right? Go do QA right now with your skills of a software developer. And then you're going to learn these skills of a QA architect. Okay? All right? So that's my quick answer for this. Last chance, join the International Developer Career Day events. It's not an event. It's going to be a day, international day. You know, a few years from now, you're going to say, hey, I was in the first International Developer Career Day. Look how my career grew since then, right? Because every year we're gonna do the International Software Developer Career Day, and I want you there. So join right now. The link is right here on the video. I put on the chat also, and it's right here on the board. jav.mn/dev career day. So join me on the event, 100% free, online, everywhere, and I see you guys there. Okay, so Nox, come back there, and I'm going to spend the whole day mentoring people there. The whole day, not just a few minutes like we're doing here. The whole day. Oh, by the way, you might be asking, but Bruno, when exactly the event happens? It happens Friday at this time. I'm starting these lives here at the same time we're going to start the event Friday, right? So if you're here with me today, it means you can be with me on Friday online at that time, okay? I see you there. Very, very good to see you all here, and I hope to see you Friday, okay? Oh, by the way, don't miss the conversation with James Gosling, the creator of Java, today and in 2.5 hours.